You are looking live here at DNA HQ here in beautiful Salt Lake City, Utah. My name is Darren. That is AJ. What is going on, my friend?
Not much, buddy. Not much. Just admiring the beautiful world as it is today.
It's so beautiful. So
It is.
great.
It is.
So great. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. It's gorgeous outside. Lots to talk about today on the Utah Jazz. Obviously, we're going to start there with a lot of information dropping literally over today, and leave it up for the Jazz to screw up our notes. Right before the show. So that's always great.
That's standard business too.
Yeah, and then in Major League Baseball, we have some stuff to talk about: the draft overhaul, more fun with Dalton rushing, and all that stuff. But yeah, it's gonna be a good time, man. Gonna be a good time. What do you say we get into it?
Let's do it. Before we get to the content, we like to encourage you to join the conversation in the comments down below. While you're down there, consider subscribing to Utah Jazz DNA. Smash that like button for your boy Darren.
That's right. All right, man, let's go ahead and get into it. Before we jump into it, let's go ahead and first of all, reminder, folks, if you're watching this on YouTube on Utah Jazz DNA after the fact, we live stream this show every Wednesday evening at 8:30 Mountain Time. So if you're watching this on Utah Jazz DNA, this is something we do as a live stream on DNA Sports Recap, our main channel, every Wednesday. So feel free to join us for that.
Absolutely.
All right, let's go ahead and jump on into it. Again, folks, if you're watching this live, please feel free to jump into the chat. We want to hear from you, folks. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. We're going to get into it here. Greg Hawkins, did you guys see the Cup score today? I did not. I did not see
either,
that,
actually.
and we'll get into that.
Yeah.
He's got a welcome back, AJ, right there.
Thanks, buddy.
Both so happy to have AJ back. It felt weird not having you here, man.
I know,
It
but
felt like
but
I
you
was
did
missing
such a great job on the video.
Yeah.
I was so excited.
I appreciate that. Man.
Yeah,
I
you
appreciate
did
that.
great work.
I appreciate that. We got a comment here from McKinley Cutler joining us live again. Great to see you again, buddy. While we're talking Jazz, which is always nice. Good to have you there. Let's say I'm not going to say that I like the Kessler trade. Was really looking forward to watching this team with him on it, but I do think that it was the right decision from the front office. And we'll definitely get into that. We'll definitely get into more of this, especially after seeing the Jaylen Brown trade. The Jazz got a haul for Kessler. Yeah, we'll get into that.
We got some great conversation coming up on it.
We do. Also, I'm here live today. Absolutely. And we're excited to have you here, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Again, folks, jump into the chat. We're going to talk with you guys, interact live. That's the whole point of doing this show live, is to get a chance to chat with you guys individually and, like real time, not posting our show an hour after we record it. Unlike some Utah Jazz content providers. Just saying.
Weird.
I'm not saying, I'm just saying. All right, let's go ahead and get into it, man. Let's get into our first subject of the day. Now, let's talk about it, dude. Let's talk about the Utah Jazz and the trade of Walker Kessler. Now, remember, AJ, I mentioned this on a episode a while ago.
It wasn't that long ago.
No.
2-3 weeks ago?
Well, before this, him being this team being the threat.
Yeah.
That I said, Lakers fans out there that watch our channel, because I know there's a bunch of them, right?
Of course.
That the Lakers will never be as bad as they are right now.
Yeah.
Simply because the Dodgers ownership and Dodgers front office are coming in, and they're going to change things and run things the Dodger way. So that team is never going to be as bad as they are right now. And yeah, they made the right moves, man. They made the right moves. And like I mentioned before, we've talked about it before. Drop some room, leave it up to this team to drop news and ruin hours of research that we talk about when it comes to this show, right? So the Utah Jazz have traded Walker Kessler, AJ. They traded him to the team that, like you mentioned, I have been reporting for several weeks now, was the main threat to sign him in restricted free agency, the LA Lakers. This was a 4-year deal, with the fourth year being a player option with an annual AAV of an average annual value of $32 million. So basically $4 million more than what we offered him originally. The Jazz got back 2 first-round picks and 2 first-round pick swaps for this player, for Walker Kessler. Okay, maybe the Jazz didn't want to pay that price, right? Maybe that was too high for him. Great. So where are we going to replace that production with? He was easily top 3 defensive rim protection in the league. Easily top 3. When he's healthy, there's probably not 3 players in this league that's better at rim defending than Walker Kessler, right?
I would agree.
and you aren't improving in that space for less than $32 million a year, you're not going to get that for less. We got on record on this channel saying that this team was originally built around Walker Kessler. This is something that you brought up. Relatively
did a whole video on it too.
Did a whole video for sure.
Yeah, and then I got comments on it today. People like LOLing the whole video. I'm just like,
yeah, exactly.
I'm like, hey, this one didn't age well.
Yeah. So we went on record saying that this team was built around him. Not matching this shows me that we're simply just back to the same old Jazz doing the same old thing that we've seen this team do for the last 3 years. What they do 2 years ago, AJ, when they were not winning games and they at the trade deadline, what they traded for all-star forward John Collins.
Right.
That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Why would you do that if you're not trying to win games? Okay, fine. Then they go ahead and try and lose last season from the beginning of the season, which is great. So we actually tried to lose from the beginning of the season last year. But we also did a midseason trade to get Triple J on the team. Also, doesn't make a whole lot of sense. This team kept doing moves like that where it made it seem like they were going to be making a push not only just in that season, but for the future. Now they take one of those future cornerstone pieces, let him walk for $4 million more a year than what the Jazz were willing to pay him. And I've had people come at me and say, okay, well, his production's not worth, $32 million a year. We did that last week when we broke down who's making more than Walker Kessler at the center position. And it's just tough for Jazz fans to realize that the cost of the talent in the NBA has gone up.
Yeah.
And even though he's coming off of an injured year, I would be surprised if the Jazz didn't make him sit longer than he was supposed to. I'm pretty sure he would have came back last year because he wanted to prove it a little more on his contract year. But yeah, man, I am not thrilled with this move. And this team was ready to roll, ready to push the chips all in the middle with their core pieces ready to go, ready to start winning basketball games. AJ, the sky is falling. You are the optimist on this show. So tell me why this wasn't a mistake and the Angels didn't just shit the bed here.
I mean, I got to be honest, though. I mean, when I first saw this, I was upset, too. You know what I mean? Like, the first thing I thought was, why and this can't be true. Like, that was it. When I saw the Shams, update come out, I was like, there's no way. And, my question is, why do you trade a guy that you've been so publicly vocal about? He is a cornerstone of this team. And then my next question is, why do you let him go for $32 million a year, right? Like, you just offered him 28. I mean, it's easy enough to match that. And, I mean, that was honestly less than I was thinking he would get, right? Like, I honestly thought he would be in the mid to high 30s. That was going to be the offer sheet we were going to have to match to retain Kessler.
Right.
Like, because it was just reported a few days ago, mid to high 30s. He had multiple offers at mid to high 30s.
Tony Jones of the Athletic, yep.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know. And I thought that was too high. I thought 35 to 38 was probably too high because as much as I love Walker, like, we do got to keep in mind he hasn't played a full season, right? He has injuries, and the only thing you can look to see is that he is an injury-prone player, right? And I think some of them were Jazz-induced, and if you're listening on the podcast, those are air quotes, right? Like, I think there was some injury history that was just what this team needed to get to the position they were trying to get to as far as draft capital.
Right.
But I think the Jazz had decided that they weren't going to sign him unless he accepted their offer, right? I think as soon as he declined, the Jazz made the decision that they were going to get something in return for Walker. And when all the media was asking and they're saying, the Jazz just did their job, they played their cards close to the chest, said, no, he's a centerpiece. We're going to keep him because what you have to do and what you cannot do is get nothing in return for him as a restricted free agent.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't do that. So if you're a Jazz fan, be happy we got something for him, because the worst thing the Jazz could have done in this situation is just let him go on a restricted free agent contract and not matched.
Right.
That was an option though, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So this was not a bad deal for the Jazz, right? You clear his over-requested salary off the books. He was not worth 35 to 38 like I thought, right? Is he worth 32? Maybe. That's right in the range of, like you said, centers that are kind of around his production. And you get back 2 first-round unprotected draft picks. You get 2 first-round pick swaps, and you move an injury-prone player who is now asking for a ton of money. A ton of money. So the Jazz have now replenished their draft capital. You get a massive mid-level trade exception for the sign and trade, which is half of his salary on the first year he takes for the Lakers. That's a $20 million mid-level player exception. That gives you the space to go out and sign somebody. So it's not a bad move. And as much as I thought Walker was a huge part of this team, and I think it was built around Walker's defensive presence, I think the Jazz had to do something. They weren't going to pay him what he was going to ask, right? They're not paying him $33 million a year. So
why?
Because you're already paying Walker, you're already paying Lauri Markkanen and JJJ almost $90 million a year. You're going to pay your front court $130 million a year.
We talked about this literally a couple of weeks ago when we said the Jazz are willing to go into the second apron for this team.
And I think they were. I just don't think they're going to do it this year. I think it'll be next year. They had to prepare because if Keontae has the season everyone hopes he has and the Jazz are trying to win, the thing is when the Jazz are trying to win, Keontae George is going to be a lot more productive. Keontae George a lot more productive means they're going to have to pay him a lot more, right? You've got Darryn Peterson on a rookie scale contract. You've got two guys that are making $45 million a year in your front court already that you've got on contract for another couple of years. You've got to find some relief in there somewhere. And if you're not going to find the relief, you've got to figure out a way that you can keep this team afloat.
Yeah, someone needs to check AJ's bank account to see if he's got a check from SCG. I'm just saying that. We'll get to
I'm
AJ.
the eternal optimist, man. My job was to find the reason not to be upset about it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm going to start here with Greg Hawkins' comment because honestly, man, what you said there didn't actually make me feel any better because what a lot of that was a lot of corporate spin. That's exactly what the Jazz would say. Quit being cheap, Ryan, and pay the luxury tax and compete for once in your life. Probably the best. That's going to be the comment of the show.
I love the all caps too. Thanks, Greg.
That is the comment of the show right there. We're going to hit a few of these here as well. Got another comment from McKinley. I would like to mention that according to most reports, Kessler got offers in the high 30s, and the Lakers were getting desperate and were accordingly to some reports were going to offer the max. The Lakers got Kessler on this contract because the Lakers and the Jazz agreed to a sign-in trade. Yes. So just like your point, they reached out to the Lakers and they said, okay, what are you wanting to pay Kessler? And basically they worked the deal together to get Kessler on the contract. I think you're right. The reason why he agreed to pay less than mid to high 30s was because of the control that he got. 2 years with a player option after the fourth year so he can re-enter in still his prime and enter free agency when the salary cap is going to be ridiculous. And he could make, 50, 60 million a year, depending on how well he plays.
Depending on how well he plays. Absolutely.
Yeah. Are we quibbling over $8 million? What a bushwhack organization is that? What bushwhack organization is this? And then I am the real deal. Can I get your opinion on who the Heat should go after? Well, I think they already went after quite a bit.
They got Giannis.
Yeah, it depends. They're going to need to pair him with something. So I kind of get what he's talking about there. If it wasn't for the fact that Jaylen Brown got traded to the Celtics, I believe is who we ended up with. Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
No, it's not that stuff. It's the 76ers. Sorry, 76ers. He went from the Celtics to the 76ers. Gosh, what a team that's going to be, man. What a team that's going to be. All right, so let's start here. Let's start with what they got back, right? Let's go ahead and talk about that.
Okay.
4 picks. Okay, first of all, let's take this pick swaps, get rid of them. Okay, those don't count. Automatically, that's a wash.
I disagree with them automatically being a wash.
Let me explain why.
Okay.
The pick swaps come during this contract time frame. Who's got the better draft? Whoever's got the better position in the draft with the Utah Jazz and the Lakers, right? And that's going to be while Walker Kessler, Austin Reeves, and Luka are all under contract.
Okay.
That draft pick is not going to suck. Is not going to be high. It's going to be low. The Utah Jazz, also their pick not going to suck.
But what you're forgetting is that the NBA just redid the draft lottery.
Right, but the point is it's going to be the better of the two, right?
But it's flattened now, so they can still make a play-in team and still have a chance to get a higher pick than the Jazz.
Yes, but you're arguing over 4th to 5th place in the lottery to do that.
I agree, but it's still a first-round pick, and you're bettering your pick no matter where it lands.
That's fair. but it's not going to be by astronomical numbers.
But with the Jazz's terrible draft luck and the Lakers' excellent draft luck over the years,
let's not get to open that door.
You know what I mean, though? The fact is the Lakers have always had great draft luck.
My point is that these two draft swaps are not as going to be as valuable as you think, because the Jazz are going to be good, because the Jazz were going to be good with Walker Kessler on the team. Without Darryn Peterson on the team, I think the Jazz were already going to be a good team.
Yeah.
Now you basically just swap talent for talent. Unfortunately, we're going to be substantially less of a defensive quality team. We're going to be a substantially better offensive team. So all we did was switch which way on the pendulum we swing. And then, again, these draft picks are going to be so close together, the percentages aren't going to change that much.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be in the same pool. So the draft percentages to land a higher pick are going to be in the same pool. They're going to be not in the top 3. They're most likely not even going to be in the top 10. Our options are going to be more towards the lower option, because the Jazz aren't going to be a bad team. The Lakers aren't going to be a bad team. So where these picks are going to land are going to be pretty close together. So the odds aren't going to change that much.
What if Luka Doncic gets hurt either one of those years?
That's a whole lot of what if, dude.
I understand that.
He's never shown a history of.
But that Lakers pick without Luka Doncic or Walker Kessler, because we know Walker Kessler gets hurt. Now what are they?
Okay.
Now what do those pick swaps look like?
The Kessler injury again is a lot more Jazz causing than I think people realize. I'm guaranteeing that player wanted to come back before the end of the year last year.
And I agree.
And I think the Jazz were like, hold up, no, wait a minute. If it took a coin flip for us to have better odds than Sacramento, we would have fallen down to 9th or whatever it was. So the fact that we got that close for screwing that up, if Kessler came back, done deal, we would have lost it, right?
Yeah.
Now, let's take the other 2 draft picks, right? Only one of those is actually good, because one of them falls when, again, those 3 players are under contract for the Lakers.
Yeah.
So, again, you're hoping that the Jazz at some point in 3 years are going to have a bad enough team that they're going to be worse than the Utah Jazz, and we can move up and have draft quality. 2 things. One, I hate that, because I'm done with playing draft picks and getting draft capital back for this team. We've done that dance for 4 years now, and we're done. I'm done. So Jazz fans are done playing draft capital.
I agree.
We have a top 4 draft capital stash right now. We don't need more. We need to compete now, not that. Mm-hmm. The only other one of those picks falls after Luka's contract's up, Kessler's contract's up, and Austin Reeves' contract's up. So only one of those picks falls outside of that range. And who knows what the Lakers are going to do. Again, this is a team run by the front office of the Dodgers. You think they're going to just rebuild? No, they're not going to. The Dodgers did not rebuild. They reloaded. The Lakers are going to do the same thing. So I would argue not only are only 3 of those picks not really that great, the one that we have that we're going to hope for, the Lakers are not going to be a bad team that year either. So while we got a lot of picks for it, I honestly don't think the haul is really worth the squeeze of what we gave up, especially since we're arguing over, like Greg said, $8 million. It doesn't make me feel better about it. Second, and this is an odd tangent, between the Utah Jazz and the Los Angeles Lakers, who's supposed to have most white people starting on that team? That's supposed to be our thing.
Lakers are going to win next year.
There's all white guys. That's our thing. We talked about that's why they wouldn't go after Austin Reeves. They don't want to have that, that whole thing. And it's just anyway, AJ. And the main thing that I want to talk about when I think this is not a good deal for the Utah Jazz, and here's the main thing, is that I am just really disappointed, AJ. I really wanted to see what the Jazz could do with that size against this West.
Yeah.
What Walker Kessler, Larry Markkanen, and Triple J could do against a Wemby team. What that lineup can do against OKC. We had the defense to take down the Spurs. We had the offensive shooting, the size to take down OKC. We don't anymore. That's gone.
Yeah. So the best thing about draft capital, and I get it, is if you're going to use those draft picks, yeah, draft capital sucks. But let me tell you what other teams that have players that we might want in return. It's draft capital. And the Angels know that these picks in 6-7 years don't do us a ton of good right now, because Jazz fans want to win right now. But teams that are in rebuilding and are going to be in rebuilding guess what they're going to want? Draft capital. So the Jazz's job now is to go out there and find a player that can do what they need to do and send back a ton of what? Draft capital. That's how you win now.
AJ, we've had this conversation on this show.
I know.
The Utah Jazz do not get the players they want to trade for.
No, they get the player. They can get some players they want to trade for, right? That's the only way they're going to get them is trade. And the thing is that they just gave up a bunch of draft capital to get JJJ.
Right. JJJ is a great ad. What I'm talking about is they're going to have to give up a boatload of draft capital for a player who's then going to block the trade, just like they have done year over year. Drew Holiday, Kevin Love, who eventually said how much he loved it here. You know, the trades get blocked from the Utah Jazz all the time. They don't want to come here. And what you're telling me is now we're going to trade draft capital to replace.
I'm saying that's what the Jazz need to do.
Yeah,
with this draft capital.
Who are you going to trade that's going to replace third best rimmed protection in the NBA? Who are you going to trade for it? Where's that going to come from? Who's got it?
Rudy Gobert.
Not going to happen.
I mean, I agree, but
yeah, Minnesota's not going to give up the only reason why they've been a playoff contender for the last 3 seasons. You know, Rudy Gobert got him in the playoffs, and it's a great offensive player, but without Rudy, you know, that team's not making as far as they do, especially now they have LaMelo Ball or whatever the ball kid is. You know, can you imagine? Like, and already is serviceable on defense, but LaMelo does not play defense a lick, and then you take Rudy off that team.
They're not even a borderline playoff team anymore.
Yeah, so like that's not happening. They're not getting Rudy. You know, who are they going to get? Like, where do you fix this hole that was taken care of for this team?
Yeah.
The Jazz had a unique opportunity to put something out there that said, look, doesn't matter what you throw at us, we can beat you.
Yeah.
And now they don't have that anymore.
I agree. I agree.
I don't know where the silver lining is on this one.
Yeah. I think the silver lining is we have a ton of young talent. We are still long. I mean, as long, no, but they did just add Jackson Haynes, who's a 7-footer.
Right.
Not a fantastic defensive player, but he's still long. You add another 7-footer to the roster, right?
Who gets more minutes, him or Flip?
I think it depends who you got running the guard, right?
Yeah.
Because Haynes is more of like a rim runner, Flip's more of a 3-point shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Flips at what, 6'10"?
Yeah,
so Haynes is a little bit taller, but Haynes is also a lot more athletic. Yes. Right? Like, I mean, he can just jump out of the gym for a 7-foot guy. Like, it's freakish.
Right.
So I think it kind of depends on what schemes you're running offensively to who's going to get more minutes. If you're trying to spread a team out, like if you're playing Rudy Gobert, you know what I mean? Someone that's down around the rim, you're not going to play Jackson Haynes down there. Mm-hmm. You're gonna play Kyle Filipowski in that situation because he can shoot it. So I don't know. I think it's pretty situational. But
yeah, no,
ton of comments. Thank you guys.
We love it, man. I love it. On the real deal, coming in here, Sharif Cooper, 8 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds, 51% from 3, 38% from 3. Andre Drummond, backup center. I
think the Heat are in tough shape. I think adding Giannis was their big swing. I don't know if they have enough to kind of keep.
And what they gave up.
Yeah,
you know? I mean, and I don't know how well Bam and him are going to play together.
That was my first thought when I saw the Heat trade was how do him and Bam really work? I mean, Bam shoots a little more than Giannis does, but they both play a very similar role in that Heat team. I'm excited to see where the Heat go with this.
I am too. I like what they're doing there. Like we said, there was 2 places he was going to end up. It was either New York, Brooklyn, or Miami. So not surprising. That's pretty much what everybody else was saying too.
Yeah.
We got McKinley jumping in here. I mean, I'm not going to say I need to worry about Ryan's pocketbook, but with the second apron rules, the Jazz are needing to re-sign Keontae. I think they can't have a bad contracts on the books. Here's my thing about that. I don't think the Jazz have showed any interest, front office wise, in signing anybody ahead of restricted free agency. I don't think that's what the Angels are doing. I think in the Jazz front office are saying, like, look, you need to prove it. You need to prove it before your contract year, and you need to be able to prove it for multiple years. Keontae George isn't getting a contract extension specifically for that reason. They're like, you know what? You got to prove it. And you've done it, for 1 year?
He wouldn't be eligible for a contract extension until next year.
What I'm saying is he's on restricted free agency next year, right?
No, I think next year is his first year they can negotiate.
Yeah, this year is his first year they can negotiate a contract extension. His restricted free agency is next season.
Oh, okay.
So if you're going to extend him and buy out his restricted free agency
Yeah.
year, it's going to be this year.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
I got you.
So,
Yeah. So, but maybe that's the thing. Maybe they're looking to sign Keontae this year to an extension.
that is my
If
only
that happens, are
silver
you still
lining.
upset about the Walker?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I am, AJ.
Yeah, I am. Okay, fair enough.
You're replacing the payroll with what we already have on the roster?
Fair enough.
Like, yeah. I'm also going. I will also say that it's very different opinion of this trade than the Jazz doing nothing with these holds on them for a long term.
And they don't pay Keontae. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. I don't know, man. Would that make me feel better? Maybe, maybe not. I just don't think the Jazz are really holding on to any player, man. I think the Angels just simply will say the right thing in the press conference, but outside of that, everybody's tradable.
Yeah.
Nobody's
safe.
untouchable.
Nobody's safe.
Except for
Dude, I love this
Darryn
comment
Peterson.
from Greg. Maybe he could afford a Kessler contract if he purchased fewer flat brim hats. Great point. Great point. I'd love to see his collection. That would be pretty interesting. The Utah Jazz are the Pittsburgh Pirates of the NBA without the history.
So close, dude. So close. Cleveland Guardians, actually. That's actually straight from Carmelone's mouth, actually.
And the Lakers have had a chance to do something really funny. All the cream team is starting lineup, white starting line. Yeah, that's what we just talked about. So
I think it's pretty funny.
yeah, absolutely.
Love the comments, guys. Keep them coming, man. That's awesome.
Yes, thank you, guys.
We're not done talking Jazz basketball, but yeah, let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below when it comes to the trade for Walker Kessler. Honestly, AJ, and here's my optimistic side. Okay, here's my silver lining on all this.
Yeah,
What this trade tells me, and with the Jackson Haynes signing tells me, is that this team is not done.
that is 100% where I'm at.
I don't think
They're not done yet.
this is not the roster.
The only reason they acquired this draft capital is because they have something else that they're trying to do.
Yeah, that is exactly right. I don't think
And they
this is-
needed it to make this move.
this roster that we're looking at right now is not going to be the one that's entering
I
camp
don't
in
think
October.
so. I don't think so. And you guys mark our words. I don't think the Jazz are done yet.
Exactly. Do you still want to hold foot on your 50 wins prediction? You still strong on that? Are you backing off?
At this moment right now, I'm going to take it to 45 wins.
Back it up. Back it up.
We're going to
guys.
back it up to
that
45.
truck up. Hey, come here. Beep, beep.
Okay.
Back it up.
Without Walker, it is a different story, dude.
It totally is.
It for sure is. You know what I mean? I still think the Jazz are a fringe playoff team. I think they have a good chance, but I will stand on 50 depending on what they do with this offseason.
Okay. So you're walking it back from where it is right now.
From where it is right this minute.
But you reserve the option to change your mind.
I do reserve the right to
To
negate my reversal.
okay. I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
All right, AJ. So tell me something, AJ.
Yeah.
Tell me if this sounds familiar.
Okay, I'm ready.
The Utah Jazz draft a hot guard that everybody had their eye on, who everybody thinks is going to be entertaining to watch, and then he immediately, before he spends a day on an NBA court, sends a massive Adidas contract. Tell me if you've heard this before.
I have heard this before.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty interesting.
It's funny because we're obviously talking about the new rookie, Darryn Peterson.
Yeah, before we get into it, I do want to talk about that. We're going to talk about that a little bit. But because we weren't here, I want to get your reactions on the Jazz drafting Darryn Peterson.
I am ecstatic about Darryn Peterson. I think that he was the best fit for the Jazz, no doubt about it. I mean, we've said that in multiple videos for multiple weeks now. If the Wizards were going to make a funky move and decide to move on Peterson, it's because he was the best. You know, there's a lot of rumors about that. I think he is the most offensively talented player in this draft. Mm-hmm. I think he has the highest ceiling in this draft. I think Dibanza has a higher floor. I think he starts out higher than Peterson does, but I think Peterson has the ability to be a better player at some point than AJ Dibanza does.
I agree.
So I love this pickup. I think he is exactly what the Jazz needed, and they needed to pair next to Keontae George. I think their skill sets align perfectly. This is a dream come true for Jazz fans, right? This is exactly what you needed. When you get him off the floor, you've got a true point guard in Isaiah Collier that can come in and move that Keontae, move Keontae over to the kind of 2-guard slot, let Isaiah run it, as the one.
Defense on us, confuse them.
Keep the defense on. Like, this is the perfect scenario for the Jazz. Darryn Peterson he could really, really be the guy that we were needing to kind of take this team to the next level. So all the hype around him, I just hope a little bit of it comes true and he just comes out to kind of be the kid that we need him to be and take this team to the next level. So yeah, I love it. I'm so excited. I could talk for another 30 minutes about how excited I am about Darryn Peterson, but we do have a show that we have somewhat talked about. So
yeah, right into it.
Man. Yeah. So yeah, I mean the Jazz look like they could be competing for a playoff spot, right, in the next year, and it is exciting. But I wonder what a successful rookie season looks like for Darryn Peterson, right? I mean you look at it and who, to your point, who's the last rookie that we had that had a breakout season and then went on to become an NBA All-Star? It's the same answer as your who signs a massive Adidas deal before they.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So,
gotcha. Okay.
And the correct answer is Donovan Mitchell. So in his rookie season, Donovan averaged 20.5 points a game, 3.7 rebounds, 3.7 assists, and he played in 79 regular seasons while starting 71 of them. So averaging 20 points as a rookie is very difficult. It was not as difficult for Donovan because of the team that he was on. He did not have the talent that Darryn Peterson currently has around him, right? It's going to be much more difficult for Darryn to average even close to 20 with Lauri Markkanen, Keontae George, Triple J on the roster. Those guys are all going to get buckets. They're going to demand the basketball. They're vets. They're going to be dependent on to score to make this team successful. But I think that if Darryn Peterson his successful season, in my opinion, looks like 15 points per game, 3 rebounds a game, and 5 assists. If he can get those kind of benchmark numbers, and then he also has to play in 65 games this year. 65 games is where that sweet spot is. I think that'll kind of show he's the guy that we are hoping he was going to be.
Gotcha.
Yeah. What do you think?
So I did a comparison. Again, what we're talking about here is a prediction on how Darryn Peterson is going to play his rookie season.
Yeah.
So I did a comparison on a freshman stats that he had at Kansas versus other NBA players currently in the league.
Yeah.
This comparison I found best fit was Devin Booker. Devin Booker, they were statistically, while some are better matches statistically, like Malik Monk. He was more of a high volume scorer versus focusing, mainly focusing with outside shooting. The other one that came up on the list was Jaylen Brown, who also was another great pick, but wasn't as good a shooter as Darryn Peterson's going to be. Plus, when it comes to that, his stats were a lot closer to DP's because he was on a stacked team in Kentucky. But overall, the play style is the same. Elite 3-tier shooting on this player. And then at the basket, at the rim, mid-range and 3. That's what Darryn Peterson brings to this team. So Devin Booker is the rookie that I think best pairs with Darryn Peterson based off of coming into the NBA.
Yeah.
What was Devin Booker's rookie stats? 13.8 points per game, 2.5 rebounds per game, 2.6 assists per game, 42% field goal percentage, 34% from 3. Now I expect him to have a little bit better shooting especially from 3, because Darryn Peterson is just ridiculously smooth. Probably one of the best shots I've ever seen coming out of college. And I think he's actually going to be at 18 points per game, 5 rebounds per game, 4 assists per game, 1.5 steals, shooting 46% from the field and 38% from 3, which I think is interesting because that is coming into a team that already, like you mentioned, has a bunch of talent on this team. I think he could have easily averaged 20 points a game last season if he was on this team last year. But given where the Jazz are this year, how well Keontae did, and like you mentioned, the rest of the team that we have, I think that's going to allow him to perform better than what Devin Booker did, but also not perform at the level that I would say he would be at because of the fact he's on a better team.
And it's really interesting though, because when I made my numbers, I was thinking the 5 assists was because he has such good scorers around him, right? Mm-hmm. He's going to have, Keontae shooting it, Lauri shooting it, Triple J to throw a bounce pass into. But I think one of those key stats that I really like where you're at on is the rebounding. For him to be at 5 rebounds, we just lost a ton of rebounding in Walker Kessler. And Triple J is not known as a fantastic rebounder. No. Larry Markin is not a fantastic rebounder, and 2 guys that are close to 7 foot should be much better. So we've relied a lot on Walker to get the offensive boards. So I think we're going to need him to be closer to that 5 rebounds for this team to kind of take that step.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which you're going to roll us in nice, AJ, to what we're going to talk about next, which is what the Utah Jazz look like as far as lineups go with Darryn Peterson on the lineup. Now, this has changed drastically since we originally talked about this idea.
Yeah. And that's funny because we talked about this idea yesterday.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and run it down. So, So I think this is what the Jazz starting lineup is going to be since we found out about the Walker Kessler trade. I think it's going to be Key at the 1, Darryn Peterson at the 2. You're going to have Larry Markin at the 3, Triple J at the 4, and we're going to have Nurkic at the 5 to start. That's what I think is going to happen.
And I disagree. I think that the Jazz will move Ace into the starting rotation. I think you're going to see Triple J at the 5, Larry at the 4, Ace at the 3, and then Key and DP at the 1-2. And I know you hate this idea because of Triple Jackson's production.
I don't hate the idea. I'm just telling you it's not going to happen. If the Jazz do it, then it was a waste of a trade for Triple J in the first place.
Right.
Because his worst production on the Grizzlies was when he was playing as center. He's actually gone on record saying he does not like playing center.
Right.
This guy is a power forward.
Yeah.
He is a roaming help the helper defensive type player. That's why he's not a very good rebounder. It's because he's always looking for the block in the offensive boards. That's what he's good at, right? So, yes, while I see that's probably going to be a case, if the Jazz do that, that's going to be a huge step back because, again, he's not here. He's not happy to be here because he's a 5. He's happy to be here because he was going to get to be a power forward, which is where he was the best at in Memphis.
Yeah. No, I mean, I totally see that. And I think that and it's funny because some of our context was the Nurkic contract extension and how does it impact Walker Kessler, right? That was originally what we were going to talk about in this segment.
Right.
And it was like, is Nurkic going to be the guy that replaces Kessler if the Kessler contract doesn't work? Now we know Kessler's out of the picture.
Right.
We know that Nurkic is still here. We had some great minutes. He's a very, he's a vet guy. He does the right things. He makes good passes. He's a much better passer than Walker Kessler ever was. Yeah. He sets good screens. He doesn't shoot the 3-ball great. Not that you need that from a 5, but I wonder if that will be his expectation. The problem is Nurk's not a great shot blocker.
No, but nobody on this team really is.
Right, besides Triple J.
Right, not the 5 though. He's not
right.
Good at
he's
the
just
rim.
Not. He's just
5.
not a great shot blocker at the 5. Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see. And the thing is this just reinforces the fact of what we were just saying. There's got to be something else happening.
Right.
Right. Because you didn't bring Triple J here to be a 5.
No.
You just didn't. That's not where he's strong at. You need a rim protector. I mean, even somebody that's a mild, like we're talking, even if it's freaking Brook Lopez, right? Just a big 7-foot guy that just stands there and is just in the way, but he understands that's his task.
Yeah. It's definitely not Jackson Haynes. That's definitely not the solution here.
No. Jackson Haynes is not. He's not the guy. Right?
Okay, so let me clarify on why I think Nurkic is a starter. Let me clarify on this. It's not he's going to be. I do think he's going to start for the Utah Jazz. I don't think he spends the most minutes on the team at the 5 position.
Right.
I think it's going to be more by committee at the 5 spot.
Right.
I think we're going to see a lot of Flip. I think we're going to see a lot of Nurkic. I think we're going to see a lot. I mean, obviously Jackson Haynes is going to be in there for a little bit of it. And I even do see him having to play more of that roaming 5 if the Jazz want to put out anything like a death type lineup, right? That I know that some Jazz commenters think that we're going to have, which I don't think we're actually going to have. But if we want to do a 5 out, that's going to be a possibility, right?
I mean, and you got to look at who's playing in the West, though. How many teams do you need a true 5 against? San Antonio
and OKC,
Denver, right? Those 3.
Yeah,
that you need a true big guy that's a shot blocker, right?
Yeah,
because
maybe Denver.
I mean, yeah, Jokic plays out quite a bit.
Yeah,
I guess you
so
might
I
not
think if you-
necessarily. But
Triple J can handle him in the perimeter.
yeah,
So-
yeah, absolutely. So I mean, I think matchup wise,
I think Key would dominate him. Not Key. I think Ace would dominate him on the defensive end if he wants to play defense. I think Ace would dominate him on the defensive end.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, I like it because there's so many matchups that we have some options with. We still need a true rim protector. I agree with you completely. And who is that guy? I don't know yet.
Unless the philosophy is to completely change what the Jazz were actually going to do in the first place.
And maybe that's the case.
And in that case, then it's a lot more of that, let's see what we can do. Okay, then let's pivot last minute. And that's the thing that I think the Angels have done ever since they came in, since Ryan brought them in, is like, okay, let's see what we have with these guys. Okay, wow, we're doing really well. But let's go ahead and trade everybody at the deadline, and let's go for a high draft pick because we don't think we're going to make it to the postseason.
Yeah.
And then let's go ahead and try it again next year. We're going to start with a bunch of players. We're still winning too much. Okay, now we really need a tank. Let's trade away all of our talent. And then this was the first year we're like, okay, let's start the year bad and end the year bad.
Yeah.
Right? And now that they're like, okay, well, now Kessler's too much money. We can't have him. Okay, so let's let him walk. Okay, now what are we going to do? Now I'm going to have to try and pivot again. I think there's no long-term – they keep saying we're going to build this team towards a long-term and prolonged window of contention versus winning now. All I'm seeing is pivot moves based off of what's going on.
Yeah, and it's weird because it's not 90-degree pivots. It's just like a couple degrees at a time it's like they can't figure out the path they're trying to go to.
Yeah, it's like they have an end game in mind and they have a couple paths, but they can't really choose which path they want to take, so they're making minute changes.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. To me, it's a little, like I said, the only saving grace, the only silver lining is that this is perfect for a situation where the Jazz are not done. So we'll have to see what happens there.
Yep, absolutely.
We got a couple of comments here we want to hit real quick. We got DP Ace, KG, all starting this upcoming season with Nurkic, Triple J, and Haynes rotating until the trade deadline. We're going to, when we get Jared Allen to become on the team, and we'll be in the playoffs 100%. Jared Allen, interesting choice. I don't know.
He's a great defensive player.
I don't know what you'd have to do to get him, though. Like, what are you going to have to do to get him and get it? I don't know. Is that what they need? Is that what Cleveland needs?
I mean, is Allen still with Cleveland?
Jared Allen? Who am I thinking of?
No, I know he played for Cleveland. I can't remember if he's with Cleveland or the Nets.
Oh, right. Okay, I'm thinking of.
But maybe he went from the Nets to Cleveland. I don't watch the Eastern Conference, so.
Oh man, can you imagine if the Jazz were in the Eastern Conference?
This is a Googleable fact.
Yeah,
okay,
let's go and look it up. Kessler will be really good with Luka. Yeah, he needs a lob threat, and that's exactly what he is. He's a defensive rim protector who is great at the pick and roll and drop down into.
He is currently with the Cavs.
Okay, yeah, I thought so.
Okay,
yeah, I thought it was. I could have sworn it was there, but
But yeah, I mean,
again, it's the East. Who's paying attention?
At 6'9", he is. I mean, he's got a
his reach, though.
7'6" wingspan.
Yeah, I was gonna say his reach is a lot better than that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I don't know. We want to hear from you folks. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. As a reminder, folks, if you're watching this on our live stream, please feel free to comment when we're talking here live. We'd love it. If you're listening to this on the podcast after the fact or watching this on Utah Jazz DNA, we do this live on our main channel, DNA Sports Recap, every Wednesday evening. Is where we shoot this live and we engage with you folks in the live stream. So be sure to join us every Wednesday night. Be great. Yeah. Come on, guys. I love Walker Kessler, but he hasn't shown the reliability as a player going forward for $32 million a year. I'd rather take the assets and a Laurie package to go for Joker next season.
Hey,
if that's the move this year, I'm all for it.
Yeah,
I'm all for it.
Joker's gonna be super max contract though.
Yeah, I wouldn't even. If he could do a trade now,
right.
I would be all over that.
Yeah.
See, the problem is with Kessler, the injury thing. How much of that was Jazz injury versus him being actually injury prone? The Sabonis, he hyperextended that guy's elbow in that dirty play the start of last season on the second game of the year, and that was dirty. I don't care. You can argue with me all you want.
Yeah.
That was a dirty play.
You do got to wonder if the Nuggets window's closed though.
Oh, it is.
You know what I mean? Like they made their run, won a championship. Yeah. Traded away some key pieces. I mean, they've still got, Joker and
Murray,
which are a great pairing, but at what point do the Nuggets go into rebuild mode? And at that point, guess what you need to go into rebuild mode?
Draft capital.
Draft capital.
There
Boom.
You go. There you go.
I love it. I like it. Absolutely.
Topher 8.5, 8.9, 8.3. You brought it in home.
Great point, buddy.
Home.
Absolutely. Yeah. No,
Thanks
we appreciate
for joining us,
it.
by the way. That's awesome. Yeah. See, I would love that. That makes sense because again, not rim protection.
No, good point. Yeah, you're at that point. You're like, we're going to outscore everybody.
Maybe that's the move.
We're just going to beat everybody 150 to 140.
Maybe that's the move. Maybe you're just jacking up 93s a game. I don't know, but yeah, you're not going to beat the size of OKC, and especially not with San Antonio.
Yeah,
and that's what the Jazz had, and yeah, that was a unique plan of attack for the best in the West.
Yep.
So, and now we've lost it. So I'm really curious to see what they do. See here. Love the show, guys. Jazz will be fun to watch this year. Finally. Yeah.
Totally agree.
I agree. Wow. Today was a little bit of a step back. Well, still excited for the future.
Yeah.
Still super excited for Darryn Peterson to be on this team.
And I'll always be the optimist to cheer you back up, buddy.
Yes.
Don't you worry.
Yeah. Didn't do it this week, but that's okay.
Hey, that's all right. I'm still optimistic whether you.
By the way, I want to start a hashtag for the Jazz. Hashtag future statue for Darryn Peterson.
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah.
Because I think
that might make a good thumbnail for a video too.
Yeah. So I'm just saying. If he plays the Spurs right.
I've remembered. I have a video that I want to do on Darryn Peterson and Keontae George.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
They're part of the same agency, and that's one of the big talking points for why they thought he wasn't going to come here. So we'll talk about that.
I need to put that over there.
We'll do that. We'll do that. Once again, folks, thank you all. If you're watching this on Utah Jazz DNA after the fact, please feel free to jump in the comments. Let us know what you think about everything we talked about today. Darryn Peterson being part of this team, what the line's going to look like. What are your predictions for him as a rookie for the Jazz this year? And, everything as far as the Walker Kessler trade. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. We would love to hear from you.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and pivot over and talk a little bit about Major League Baseball.
Let's do it.
But first, before we get into the content, folks, we'd like to encourage you to join the conversation in the comments down below. While you're down there, consider subscribing to Major League DNA and make sure you smash that like button for your boy AJ right over there.
Do it.
All right, man. So let's go ahead and jump and talk a little bit about Major League Baseball. As a reminder, folks, you are watching this on Major League DNA. We do this live every Wednesday evening. Make sure you jump into our main channel, DNA Sports Recap, 8:30 Mountain Time, to join us live so we can interact with you in the comments.
Yes.
I do want to hit a couple comments here right off the grip here. Where was that one? Here it is.
Yep, unread. There you go.
Sorry, I know we're on the Jazz segment, but the Cubs beat the Padres 23-3.
Wow, that's an ass whipping.
Yeah. First of all, Greg, I want to thank your Cubs for doing such a bang-up job of keep pushing those Padres down in relevance in the
yeah, my Braves didn't help you at all, dude.
No, they didn't. But that's
they went in there and got swept, and I was there for one of them.
Yeah, that's tough. But yeah, so we want to hear from you folks. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Please interact with us live here in the show if you're joining us live. And again, if you're listening to this on the podcast after the fact, leave us a rate and review. We'd love to hear from you. Check us out, Major League DNA on YouTube if you're listening to the podcast.
But if you're listening on the podcast, we do it live every Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah. Tune on in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. So let's go ahead and jump into our first conversation, AJ, which is going to be around the proposed changes to the MLB draft.
Yeah.
So this is going to be kind of a hot topic. This is something that's been going on for the last couple of weeks. I wanted to wait until you got back before I actually talked about it. I actually mentioned on the show last week that we were going to talk about it. So here it is. Let's talk about the draft overhaul. Okay. I'm going to break it down here for you. So first, no more drafting high school players.
Yep.
Absolutely done. Players will have to attend college or another approved developmental program before becoming draft eligible. This is also cutting MLB draft down from 20 rounds to 12 rounds. Fewer players would be selected each year. And then also replacing international free agency with an international draft and raising the signing age from 16 to 18 for international players. So this standardizes the signing bonus, standardizing signing bonuses and restricting the draft bonus pools as well. The ownership is making these changes because they feel it would improve player development and create more consistent system and also bringing international players in more aligned with how things operate for the U.S. side as well. And again, key thing on this one, making a college game a little bit more exciting, so the top talent's not leaving right out of high school.
Yeah.
The Players Union is arguing that these will reduce opportunities and earning potential for amateur players, and hundreds of players won't even get drafted every year because there's no longer a chance for them to be drafted in the later rounds. If adopted, the biggest impact would be college baseball would become the primary path for Major League Baseball players. So just like much like how it's done in college football, college basketball, and other sports, the ownership, main reason, man, let's get this down to what it is, the nuts and crannies of it. It's going to be basically about money.
Absolutely.
Right? So why are the owners doing this? They're doing this because it's going to save them an average of $120 to $300 million per season.
That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
Yeah, and I kind of wonder why it's taken the MLB so long to even consider this one. And I get it. Obviously, the Players Association, they're saying we need to get more players with money in their pockets. We want a wider pool of talent to select from. Let us do our job as far as evaluating talent at a younger age, and then give these guys opportunity to make money early and gather them up early. But I mean, the NBA, they changed this rule in 2005, right? In the 2005 CBA, the rule went into effect for the 2006 NBA draft, and it gave teams an extra year to kind of evaluate talent and maturity. That's the biggest part of it, right? Because when you're drafting players directly out of high school, you don't know who they're going to be as a person. You don't know who they're going to be, how their body's going to develop over a year. Like, a lot happens from that high school year to that first college year. So it's kind of surprising that it's taken them so long to kind of realize that. I mean, that's a big decision to sign somebody to a life-changing contract. And then the NFL rule, I mean, there is obviously even more stringent, right? Players must be 3 years removed from high school and already either used up their college eligibility or graduated to be qualified for to enter the NFL draft. So I just think this is really going to improve the level of talent heading into college. I mean, that's the big thing is, this deal has something to do with the sport of college baseball, because now you're going to produce a lot more talented guys into college baseball, making it a much better product on the field in college baseball.
Yeah, because basically what the ownerships in baseball is doing is they're passing the buck.
They're passing it, absolutely.
Now, instead of us having to pay players in the minor league, paying for all their minor league contracts and all the supporting staff and all that for them to develop in the minor leagues, now we're like, hey, college teams, NIL money.
You develop them.
You develop
with
them,
your NIL money. You gather this, but the thing is unless you make this change, you're never going to have enough talent in college baseball that it's worth it to do.
Right. In baseball, that's kind of been like the whole thing, though, because you have a player that can go in the draft and he can decide not to go and go into college instead.
Yeah.
Right. So it's kind of been, again, tradition. In baseball, it's always been about tradition. While I don't think the players are going to agree to this, I 100% agree with you that I think that's the change that needs to be made in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
It kind of sucks for players. It kind of sucks for how baseball works. And for minor league baseball, this kind of really does suck, because I can see us cutting a few more leagues, right? And going just to single A, double A, triple A in the majors. I could see like those teams and those leagues getting thinner on players, because the best college players are going to be going straight into the pros.
Yeah.
Not spending a whole bunch of time in single A, double A, triple A.
But I think that's almost how it should be, though. I mean, I agree, and you don't want to see leagues get cut out, but you should have guys that go play a couple years in college, and then when they get drafted out of college, they go play minor league baseball, or they go straight to the pros, right?
Right.
The thing is it's still going to be a really wide talent pool. I mean, it's still going to be massive, because now you're going to have a bunch of guys that excel at the college level that get a chance to either go to a minor league team or sign a major league contract. So
right.
All you're doing is concentrating the talent more into college baseball, which should help grow the sport in college baseball, where teams have NIL money and you're able to pay players at the college level now. This doesn't necessarily work up until NIL.
Right.
You know what I mean? It just didn't, because before you couldn't go to college and get paid.
No.
Now you can go to college and get paid.
Yeah, now you're going to stay in college for 2 years versus leaving after one, because
exactly,
because you're going to make $5 million as a pitcher in college than you would making $850 on a player minimum playing A ball in
Exactly.
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
So now you're going to see players getting paid at a college level, which is already happening, right? So it didn't make sense until NIL came about. And now that it's here, it does make sense. And I think it's a cool opportunity for college baseball to kind of grow, and you're going to see players, going to schools that can pay them. And those games should be a lot more fun to watch because you're going to have a lot more talented players going to college.
Agree. Now, typically we are on usually the player side for almost everything. And I know the players and the players union don't like this, but I think in this case, I think we're kind of united on this one that this would make the college game much more exciting. College football, fun to watch. College basketball,
fun to watch.
Great to watch.
But college baseball, who wastes their time?
Yeah, unless you're an alumni and unless you love baseball, you're not watching college baseball.
No, because there's not enough actual talent that you're going to see in the major leagues. It's not in colleges.
Who won the College World Series last year?
Texas A&M.
No idea. Couldn't tell you.
No,
You might be right. He might be right. I don't know.
I'm wrong. I have no idea.
Who knows?
But the other part of this that I really want to talk about was the international age entry from 16 to 18. Dude, this is madness that you can draft international players at 16. And the problem is you have all these situations with big league advance where guys are paying 10% of their salaries because they're signing contracts.
We'll link it somewhere.
Yeah, we can put it somewhere. But you got kids that are 16, 17 years old signing contracts and not realizing what they're getting into. You know what I mean? Because they're 16 and 17 years old, represented by agents that they just have no idea. You know what I mean? And then they end up going big time. Like some of these rules needed to be overhauled, dude. That's all there is to it.
Absolutely. 100% agree. And I think Tammy Price, friend of the channel, Tammy Price, which is probably the best comment to segue into our next conversation that we're going to have. Tammy Price, friend of the channel, I think it's a good idea. Gives them time to mature, and LOL, some of them need it.
Yes.
Yes,
they do. And this is awesome because you know what? We saw something you don't see happen very often on the field for the Los Angeles Dodgers, Darren.
Oh, really? What is it?
Yeah. I mean, Shohei Ohtani, I don't know if you've heard of him, face of baseball, multiple time MVP, maybe greatest two-way player we've ever seen of all time. He kind of found himself in a little bit of a situation with his rookie catcher, Dalton Rushing. I don't know if you recall this, but during Ohtani's start against the Twins, those two kind of crossed up on a couple pitch selections, disagreed on some sequencing. I mean, and even went as far as disagreeing on whether pitches should be challenged against ABS.
Right.
So, and the worst part of that was it cost the Dodgers a run. Right. Because, in the pitch sequencing, Ohtani thought one way, Rushing thought another, ends up missing a pitch, goes by him. Twins end up scoring.
Which happened earlier in the another at-bat there, too.
Yeah.
So, in that instance, in defense of Dalton Rushing, which is probably the only time I'm going to say this, in defense of Dalton Rushing, I think the pitch comm, when he was saying slider or something else, I think the comm in his ear was saying fastball.
Yeah.
Because Dalton was expecting fastball, and it wasn't a fastball.
It was not a fastball. No, because that thing cut back in towards a right-handed hitter.
Yeah.
From a right-handed pitcher.
Yeah, and then just kind of went away from him.
Wait.
Like, that happened twice.
Ohtani pitches...
Right side, yep.
He does pitch right, huh?
Yeah. So he's throwing right-handed. Dalton Rushing's expecting a fastball, and then it just kind of...
Yeah, it broke in. He had no chance.
Yeah, so it's just like, he's thinking here, outside that way, and so...
And 22 inches of horizontal break, you have no chance at catching that at 98 miles an hour.
And it's not that. At that point, you wear it, even if you are the problem.
And he did. I mean, to be clear, he really did.
Not on the field, he didn't.
No, not on the field. But in the postgame, he did, though.
Okay.
In the postgame, he owned it great, right? He accepted responsibility for, all the communication issues, emphasized he had to be better, and he wanted to work on his chemistry with Ohtani because obviously that is a process. You know what I mean? You don't just go in there and catch a guy that is as good as Ohtani and just know exactly what he's going to do. But the rushing ERA with Ohtani and the Will Smith ERA with Ohtani are much different items for a reason.
Yeah.
So I got a couple of questions, and it's, do we need to be worried about rushing Ohtani on a Dodgers team that is very much expected to compete for another World Series? Okay, that's the first question. The second one is, how many rookie catchers can you name on anybody else's favorite team? Because this guy's been in the headlines for a bunch of reasons.
Not a rookie catcher, because there are rookie catchers you can name. It's backup catchers.
Backup Yeah, okay, backup
catchers
Yeah.
is what we're actually talking about here.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. To your first question, do we need to worry about it? Yeah, I think they just pushed Ohtani starting tonight to starting the next series, specifically so they don't have to start Dalton rushing. They could start a different catcher. So let me go ahead and go into that. Right. So the second question you mentioned. So yes, we do have to worry about it. I think that's the correct answer. Yes, we do need to worry about it.
Okay.
Will Smith cannot get back faster. And there's also talk.
Is Smith hurt? Is that why Rushing's catching? Okay.
Yes. Neck problem.
I was not aware of that, actually.
Yeah, neck problem. That's why he's in there. Should be back before the All-Star break, but we'll see. But yeah, to answer your second question, is none of them, AJ. Unless they are on your team or they're on your Christmas card list, you do not know the backup catcher's name on any baseball team that you're not following.
Correct.
Do you know who Chucky Robinson is?
I do not.
Chucky Robinson is the backup for Dalton rushing right now. FYI, guy's a legend. Let me talk about this first, okay? Chucky Robinson, he played for the Bees last year.
Uh-huh.
My old man and I got to watch him up close. He single-handedly won a game for the Bees.
Really?
He hit the 2-run go-ahead double in the game, and he also gunned down 2 players after that. They were trying to steal from first to second, gunned them both out, so they never had a runner in scoring position after he hit his 2-run double. So you know what that tells me? The catcher single-handedly won that game for the Bees.
Yeah.
So he went up to the A's, got released, came to the Dodgers, made a couple starts, got released, became a Brave last year, got released, and was picked back up again by the Dodgers this year. So yeah, Chucky Robinson. Yeah, you don't know his name because you're not supposed to know his name, AJ.
Yeah.
So yeah, he put it best actually. He was actually asked what his job was and why he was here, and he mentioned that he's here to do whatever he can to support the pitchers. He's here for the pitching staff and do whatever he can to support them. Anything else that he does on the offensive side is just a bonus. Also worth noting that he was really excited to be a Dodger because his grandfather was a Brooklyn Dodger fan, which is super cool.
That is super cool.
But that's my point, AJ. When you're the backup catcher, you're supposed to be seen, not heard. And this guy has done everything wrong on that side. Josh Donaldson, which happens to be a guy who has gotten in trouble for running his mouth a few times in baseball, said on his Get It Done podcast, which, by the way, if you ever get a chance to watch it, really great. It's got Russell Martin on it, former Dodger catcher, best reliever pitcher in baseball. On there, and some guy that's in the media. I can't remember his name. I'm sorry. I feel bad because he's a nice guy, but I don't remember his name. Anyway, he said it best when he said that he said you need to do something in this league, and you wouldn't necessarily catch some heat from showing up your pitcher on the mound, and you wouldn't necessarily catch some heat as much. But right now, Dalton Rushing is not that guy. He said if he was on that team, what he would do is make him ride in the bathroom the entire bus ride to the airport. Which would be an hour and a half from Dodger Stadium to the airport, by the way, after a Dodger game. Yeah, man. With that, I don't care if you're Will Smith or Yogi freaking Berra, right? You try and show up Ohtani or argue with him at all, even if it is Ohtani's fault, and I will personally drive you to the Shadow Realm myself.
Directly to the Shadow Realm, huh?
You are banned to the Shadow Realm. Dalton Rushing, you get one shot. One shot. And if you do this kind of crap again, I'm okay with everything you did before, right? We did a previous video on Dalton Rushing. Check it out. We linked it somewhere down somewhere. Yeah, we talked about his antics about running into a player at second base, calling somebody fat for outrunning him on gunning him down, and then accusing the Rockies of cheating somehow. Like all that stuff, you could forgive all that. That's rookie stuff. Again, you're the backup catcher. Keep your mouth shut. Just take care of the pitchers and do not show them up. But if it's Shohei Ohtani that you think you can show up, dude, no. Just
head to the bench, buddy.
Absolutely. To the end of the bench. Good luck at OKC, dude. Because you'll be on the trade block. You'll be catching for whoever for the Rockies next year. Watch what you're doing, man. I know Ohtani did forgive him, apparently, after the fact. There was some reports that he did forgive him. But Ohtani was not okay in his post-game interview. He said, we're not on the same page. We need to be able to pivot in-game, and we just need to work harder to get on that. That is about as close as you're going to get to Ohtani calling you out in the press conference.
Yeah.
You're not going to get any closer to that. Dalton Rushing got that. And then you have Chucky Robinson, they're intentionally pushing back Ohtani's start so Chucky Robinson can catch for him versus Dalton Rushing. Yeah, Dude, not smart. Not smart. It's actually kind of funny because that actually brings me up to another point on this. The Donaldson made a point on this. This is expect to see more of this kind of stuff coming from minor league players coming into Major League Baseball. Expect to see more of it. You know why?
Why?
They got rid of the hazing rules in baseball. No more rookie hazing. No more, hey, rookie, you're going to carry all the bags to the team bus. Now they're doing coffee runs in uniform when they're in Chicago. But no more rookie hazing, no more sending them out to do stuff, no making them dress in, female superhero outfits on bus tours. None of that rookie hazing. That's all gone. Which, by the way, was actually banned because it was originally brought to Rob Manfred by a friend of the channel, Trevor Bauer.
A friend of the channel, Trevor Bauer.
Trevor Bauer is the first one to bring it up, and then after he brought it up with Rob Manfred, it's been banned.
Wow.
Yeah. So, Donaldson, always, not known as a guy who turns the other cheek on a lot of things, but the fact that he remembers that and he knows and he's saying this, that tells you how bad it is. So, yeah, Dalton rushing, not a good look, Brady. If you were putting up 30 home runs, and playing better. I mean, he's playing better recently. He did have a great start, and keep me wrong. And I love this comment from Greg Hawkins that we got here. LOL, poor Shohei, boo-hoo. Yeah, even it doesn't matter. Your fifth starter on your rotation should never be challenged on saying, no, you're wrong, that's down. You should always wear it as a catcher, regardless of you were the starting catcher, backup catcher. You're there to protect the players, and you're the only player that the team everybody watching the screen can see.
Right.
Everybody else you're seeing the back of. So extra attention to that. So yeah, well, I get that to the point, Greg. There's a little bit more to that. Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah, good times, man. Good times. Absolutely love it. And yeah, you got to love the fact that the Dodgers actually, their backup catcher, it's spoiled riches, man. He would be the starting catcher on 25 other baseball teams right now. And he's the backup for the Dodgers. So, it's something to whine about, sure. But to Greg's point, this whine is, it's like complaining about things you don't anybody else want to complain about. He's messed up a handful of times. Go easy on the poor guy. He's gotten plenty of chances, man. And yeah, when you run your mouth on Shohei Ohtani, that's just not good. I think that's a road too far for sure. My concern is it will cost Dodgers a key game. Ohtani wasn't pitching perfect, but it was a bad chemistry. Teams with good chemistry win most of the time. Absolutely. Fair point, Tammy, friend of the channel.
Yeah, chemistry's got to be your big concern there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
We want to hear from you folks. Let us know what your thoughts are on the Dalton rushing conversation down below. Let's go ahead and get into the last conversation we want to talk about this week, AJ, which, dude, we need to get into this one, man. This run that the Phillies are on, man, watch out for the Phils, dude. Have you been seeing the run lately, AJ?
Unfortunately, yes. I have. I am a Braves fan, so.
Yeah. They are 7-3 in their last 10. Yep. Their starting rotation has an ERA of 2.5 for the month of June. Kyle Schwarber, who was off to a slow start, remember we talked about that him earlier this season? He's now leading Major League Baseball in home runs with 30 at the time of recording, which, by the way, franchise record. Nobody in Phillies history has gotten to 30 home runs by the end of June. Other than Kyle Schwarber.
That's pretty impressive.
They are firmly right now in the wild card standings,
yep.
Behind Greg Hawkins' teams, the Cubs, who have the first spot. They are 2.5 games ahead of everybody else in the wild card. The Phillies are 2 games up in the wild card standings. Right now, AJ, the Phillies are only 2.5 games back in the NL East
3
at the
games.
time of recording.
Yeah, 3 games at the time of recording. The Braves won today.
Okay, so 3 games at the time of recording.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, AJ, is down from 9.5 games from June 1st.
Yes.
So in a month's time, they went.
We had a lot of bad things happen, and the Phillies just kind of had a lot of good things happen, man.
Yeah.
They just kind of kept running. I mean, the Braves have really, really struggled offensively in the last 20 games. They've only scored 64 runs while going 7-13. So, I mean, they were shut out in 2 of those games. They only scored 1 run in 4 of those games. Braves pitching had some rough outings. You are battling some injuries, and that's everybody is, right? But, you lose Ronald Acuna Jr., Sean Murphy. Pitching wise, you lose Spencer Strider, Robert Suarez. It was just a rough month, rough month to play watching this team really, after watching them and thinking this could be such a great season to be a Braves fan. And then watching this last month, it was really tough. But there is one thing that I told you I figured out before the show. I told you I'd figured out what happened.
All right.
The Braves got back a player that they put into the starting lineup at the beginning of June. And that's like their last roughly 20 games, right?
Okay.
His name is Ha-Seong Kim. Okay.
So this is
it, dude. They started Ha-Seong Kim in the majority of the games over the last 25 games, and they've played horribly. He is currently hitting .068 with 3 RBIs and 5 hits in like 27 attempts. If not more. Okay. This dude is horrible. He is on the absolute worst hitting slump that I have ever seen a hitter. Dude, every time he gets up, it's just like, okay, well, we're out of the inning. You know what I mean? 2 on, 2 out. Kim's up. He's going to fly out. And guess what he does? He flies out.
Nice.
It's been horrible. So today, it's been announced that the Braves are taking him out of the starting lineup. Guess what happened with the Braves today?
They won a game.
They scored 5 runs and won a game.
Okay. And how was the spot that they replaced him with? Who?
They played Jorge Mateo.
Okay. And Mateo did what?
Mateo played great. I mean, I think he was like 1 for 3, which I mean isn't fantastic. He didn't do like a fielder's choice. He had a strikeout, fielder's choice, and then he hit a single in the 8th that scored a run.
He must have walked then too.
Yeah, he probably had a walk in there something too. But
That's
Mateo's a great short. He's been really, really good on the defensive end, and he's been DHing a bunch of times because of how good he's been hitting the ball. And so you're just sitting him on the bench and putting in Kim
for defensive purposes.
But his offense is so horrible that it's costing you runs in so many situations.
So the solution is to go
sit him, send him back to wherever he's from.
Solution is to take a step back defensively at shortstop.
I don't know if Mateo's
at
that
least
much
in
of
theory.
a step.
In theory.
Yeah, in theory.
And then greatly increase your offensive
offense. Absolutely.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Point of correction, AJ, that you're still 2.5 games back.
Even after the win today?
Yeah, because the Philadelphia Phillies won 2.
Oh, they won 2.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
fair enough.
2.5.
I did not watch the Phillies score. I only watched the Braves.
Okay. You want to hear? Okay, so that begs the question, AJ. From what we've seen, they were the best team in baseball all
for the majority
year.
of the start of the season.
From 2 weeks in to
first to hit 20 wins, first to hit 30 wins, first to hit 40 wins.
But after that, it changed.
Yeah.
Pretty drastically.
Then they hit 40 and they were stopped there, man.
Yeah. First team to hit 50 wins was the Dodgers.
And the Braves hit 50 today. So
yeah, congratulations, buddy.
Thank you.
I am so happy.
Thank you. I'm really happy too.
Yeah. So that begs the question, AJ. Did the Atlanta Braves peak too early?
I don't think it's. I think getting out to a hot start's always a fun thing to watch for Braves fans. Too early. It's yet to see, right? I would much rather them play poorly right now, get into a few game winning streak, put together some good games going into All-Star break, come out of All-Star break rested, and then just keep winning. You know what I mean? So I'd much rather have them, if they're going to lose a bunch of games, do it now versus in a month and a half.
Right.
So too early? No, I don't think so. I think the Braves, I think they'll get it back together. Hopefully get Strider back after All-Star break. And, that'll straighten out some things. Their bullpen's been great. I mean, they've had, Didier Fuentes has been great. I mean, I want to say this is his first year in the big leagues. He's been really good out of the bullpen. I mean, obviously got Raciel Iglesias, Dylan Lee. Both those guys should probably be on an all-star roster at some point. Dylan Lee was really good tonight. They brought Iglesias in to close out the 9th, and it was 3 up, 3 down. I think he's leading the league in saves right now.
Mm-hmm.
So they've got a lot of really good pieces. The starting pitching kind of struggled, but getting Spencer Strider back obviously helps that. It's never going to hurt it. And in that last game that he played in, when he came out and his fastball was sitting around 95, 96, that's not good.
No. Here's kind of what I want to say when it comes to this piece. Two things. One, I'm going to take it back to the Dodgers for an example of this one. Right now, because of Greg Hawkins' Cubs, the Dodgers now have an 11-game lead in their division.
Yeah.
You're going to what the problems the Dodgers have always had over this last run of them winning the division is that they don't play any meaningful games down the stretch. In both years that they won the World Series, in back-to-back years, Dodgers back-to-back champs, still champs, they are winning these by less than the division by less than 5 games each time.
Yeah.
One time they actually didn't even have the best record in the West. In the National League, so they had to play a wild card round, right? Which is dangerous. They had to do that last year. So I would say the Braves don't want to be, because on May 22nd they had a 10.5 game lead.
Yeah.
In the division. You don't want that.
Right.
You don't want them to have
too much.
You don't want them to have no meaningful games. Trust me, coming from a guy who's had his team have a double-digit lead at the end of the year and then gets swept in the first round.
Yeah.
Granted, the Dodgers were starting.
Like the games need to start meaning something. Like you need to see that there's somebody chasing you.
You can't turn it on in September and expect to win the World Series.
Yeah.
2, the NL East is kind of cursed, man. From last couple of years, whoever won the division typically doesn't go far.
Yeah.
Both times the Braves have won their division, they lost to the Phillies.
Yeah.
When the Phillies won the division and had a commanding lead in the division, the Braves didn't even make the playoffs. They had that heartbreaking loss against the Dodgers in the first round.
Yeah.
First round. So I don't really know if you want to have a commanding lead in your division in the NL East.
Yeah.
Even when the Mets won the division, they lost to the Dodgers in pretty embarrassing fashion. So it's kind of like, I don't know, man. I think you want to play meaningful baseball down the lane. Did they peak too early? No. I think they had a lot of fun, like you mentioned, a lot of fun to watch this team in the beginning of the season, which coming off of a bad year, you want to have that. You want to re-engage your fan base. And again, you want the games to manage. So matter down the road. So is this the end all be all dooms for the Braves? Did they peak too early? I think honestly, it doesn't even matter if they did. Because as long as the games matter going into October and September is all that really matters.
Yep, absolutely. And especially if you can get healthy. You know what I mean? You get Spencer Schwellenbach back. You get Spencer Strider back. Your starting pitching rotation looks serviceable at best, at worst. You know what I mean? Between some of the guys that they have coming back, the bullpen's been great. As long as they can just keep chugging along and winning games and being in a position to play meaningful baseball, I think the Braves will be just fine.
Yeah, we want to hear from you folks. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below.
Yeah.
AJ, it has finally happened, AJ.
It happened.
We have made a few comments on this situation on the channel over the last few years. And man, that finally happened. Battle of the Muncies happened in West Sacramento, AJ.
Yep.
Battle of the Muncies. Both the A's and the Dodgers, for those of you who don't know, have a Max Muncy on the team. We mentioned this in a previous video. We will link that somewhere around here. But not only do both of these guys have the same name, but both of these guys for the first time played on the same field as each other, playing the same position, third base. Not only that, AJ, they had the same name. They both play third, but they also, to your point, mentioned this earlier, they bat in the same position in the lineup as well.
Those lineup cards had to be so crazy. It's like,
yeah. Both players were also drafted by the A's, and both of them have the same birth date.
What are the odds?
Only in baseball, my friend.
Only in baseball. This what do you call it? You've mentioned a bunch of times. It's like the most. I can't remember what you've said it so many times. I wish it'd come to my mind.
It should be on a T-shirt.
It probably should. Yeah.
Yeah. How can you not be romantic about baseball?
Yeah.
Name that quote. It came from Moneyball, which was when Brad Pitt was the general manager for the Oakland A's.
Boom.
So it's just like all full circle, man. Full circle.
Full circle.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. Max Muncy for the A's did have a good. They actually statistically had a good first game that was pretty much almost identical. I'd say a single and a walk is not as good as a home run and a single and a walk. But yeah, I think it was really funny because Max Muncy from the A's first hit was a hit towards Max Muncy at third base, and it actually hit off third base and went to the outfield. That's how he got his hit, by hitting it right at Max Muncy, which is kind of interesting. So Max Muncy did not let that be deterred, because then his first at bat against the A's for that, after Max Muncy's hit, was a bomb, a moonshot to right center field. And yeah, so it was great. It's been a fun series to watch the Dodgers play in Sacramento. Shohei Ohtani's hitting bombs, Max Muncy's hitting bombs, Miguel Rojas hitting bombs, Dalton rushing, and Kyle Tucker both hit home runs in that game. We got back-to-back games.
Nice.
Back-to-back in one game in that series. So it's been fun to watch the Dodgers play a minor league team in a minor league ballpark.
Yeah. Speaking of the Dodgers, though, what about you? What do you think about Dave Roberts becoming the fastest manager to 1,000 wins? Doing it in 1,606 games.
That is so cool, man.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people are going to downplay the fact that he became a manager to win 1,000 games so quickly. Like, oh, of course he's managing the Dodgers. Who wouldn't? Ask the Mets that. Ask the Yankees. Ask the Padres. Ask all these other teams that have had higher payrolls than the Dodgers how easy it is to win right now. Some would argue that the Mets actually have a higher payroll than the Dodgers do right now. If you count deferrals, the Mets technically pay more money. And they just fired their manager.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they sure did. Yeah, because they were not starting out great.
No. So we'll see how that one ends. But dude, I think it's super cool. And thank you very much to the San Diego Padres. We got to thank them, AJ. You know why?
Why?
Because when he finished his paying career, he was a Padre. He became the bench coach for like 2 or 3 years for the Padres. And when it came time for them to hire a manager, they didn't even bother interviewing Dave Roberts for the position.
Really? Even though he was a bench coach?
Even though he was a bench coach for that team.
Wow.
But the Dodgers interviewed him, and,
the rest is history, as they say.
Exactly. Literally won the division almost every year except for 1 year since.
Yeah.
So you got to love it, man. I'm glad you brought that up. Another manager, AJ Hinch, bang, bang, got to 1,000 wins the other day, too, against for the Tigers. But obviously there's an asterisk there. Some people out there, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, lovely story, man. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
We want to hear from you folks. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. As a reminder, folks, you're watching this on DNA Sports Recap. Sorry, not DNA Sports Recap. If you're watching this on Major League DNA, we have this show every Wednesday. We do it live every Wednesday evening at 8:30 Mountain Time. So if you want to join us live, please do so. Jump in the chat. Let us know what you think about what we're talking about. We'd love to have you live.
Yes, please do. And if you're watching on YouTube on one of our short videos, just know it is available as a podcast wherever you get your audio.
With all that said, my name is Darren, that is AJ, and this has been an episode of the DNA Sports Recap.
Till next time.